Fuck it. It pays to be consistent. What's up, everybody? What's up? It pays to be consistent, even especially in times where there's a lot of uncertainty. You never know how things can turn out, but we are hardwired to focus on the negatives, of course, because I guess survival. But if you've ever experienced something to this degree, then you would know what I'm referring to is that if you stick something out long enough, your fate stands a chance to change. And simply put, one of my mottos is to stay in the game as long as possible. All right, I've seen it happen many times. A team who should have gotten should have got their asses whooped, they stick around long enough to have a breakthrough. It happens in games, it happens in wars, and I'm sure it can happen in your own personal wars. You have to meet the resistance that you face with an even greater one. Something has to win out. And I understand that you get exhausted, that you get frustrated, that you get weighed down many times over. And that makes you want to play it small, makes you want to play it safe. But if it does help you, it'll be short lived. It just won't last. It just won't last long. It won't last long. And a great deal of my life, especially my adulthood, that's all I really need to focus on. And technically, I've been an adult for about 12 years. And I've been kind of an escapist, escaping responsibility just because I can get by off less, and escaping facing reality with a sober mind, with a clear mind, because I can hide behind weed and alcohol, pills, other things. I can hide behind that. I don't have to be what it means to really be me, because if I give off a persona as if I'm somebody else, I'm not hurting anybody else. I'm only hurting me. That's it. And when you don't value your life, what difference does it make? It doesn't. All right. Now, obviously, I live a more authentic life, and I think that it it's helping me find a greater deal of clarity, strengthening my vision. It's kind of giving me a north star, giving me power, something to check in with. And every time I go to my journal, which is becoming more and more consistent, it's already established what I want out of this life, and uh, just make it a goal, a habitual thing to just keep reciting what's important to me, what needs to be done throughout the day, what did I do wrong, what do I feel, what can I do about it, all of these things. I just keep checking in with it religiously. Just trying to crack certain codes and getting to a habit of cutting out things that don't matter and incorporating things that do matter. And what I was speaking on earlier when I was talking about my escapist mentality, I just find it very interesting that the universe is just very, very thoughtful in a way where it's like, okay, so you've been an escapist for so long, huh? I'm gonna give you something that's gonna make it very hard for you to escape from, and now you're gonna have to face it. Now you're gonna have to sit there and deal with it and find a way to get yourself out of it. It's called depersonalization. You know, some deal with derealization, some other things. For me, depersonalization. There's no running. Enjoy your new norm. It leaves you with very few options. Blow your brains out or figure out how to maneuver. Figure out how to deal with something that's not going to go away instantly. I mean, for some, it doesn't last that long. For me and for others, it really does last quite some time, especially as you give in to the fear. You freak out. This new sensation, this new state of mind that you would love to avoid, but you can't. It's crazy. When you try to run away from something that's right here and you get forced to face it. I forgot what I named my title, but basically I just wanted to speak on how I'm winning the battle against depersonalization. And I had many uncertain days where I didn't know if it would be possible. I didn't know. And with all that I've had to deal with as far as my mental health, this past year was the toughest as far as you know being introduced to depersonalization and to have to keep pulling myself together every time I break down and feeling like no matter how much support or love I would have that I have, it could really couldn't do me much good. This was all on me. It was all on me. I couldn't hide. And so even when I was extremely uncomfortable, I had to find ways to sit in it. I had to find ways to observe it. Even when I felt ridiculously sick and ridiculously detached from the world around me, just in a deep dream state where I thought I was on my way to heaven or whatever comes after this. It's because I was so far gone. It's crazy. It's funny that I mentioned crazy because I would ask myself, if I am going crazy, is the psychosis? Should I actually be going to the hospital? Should I actually be going to the doctor? Like, am I a threat to the people around me? Am I a threat to myself? All these intrusive thoughts that I don't want to be there. And as I fight them off, they become more and more robust. And as I try to tell myself not to freak out, I freak out even more. You know, days were spent trying to figure this all out, in part because poor sleeping, not a lot of energy being exhausted and just trying to feel decent. Not even at ground zero, but just feel like things are manageable. And all the while, and this is one of the major keys into fighting such a thing like this and other mental ailments. All the while, I was working out. I was distracting myself um, by reading, playing the game, even scrolling. Sometimes it really did help. And listening to audios that spoke on depersonalization, like the DP manual, and that spoke on anxiety because uh, depersonalization is a byproduct of anxiety, and making sure that I take my vitamins, you know. And so I would take the D3, the B complex, vitamin C, magnesium, um, zinc, and I'll take that along with my men's daily. And I would take, hemp oil, CBD oil, um, turmeric, and making sure I stay hydrated with water, and making sure that I work out. And I would also take lemon balm, ashwagandha, sea moss at times, and black seed oil at times, religiously. Well, I mean, I wouldn't, like every day. I wouldn't overdo it, you know, but taking it every day, and fish oil, and just starting to heat up, which is perfect timing because now I get to be out in the sun, and I think that's going to help. Being out in the sun helps regulate your mood and things like that. And although I still experience this kind of dream state, it doesn't feel scary. My day isn't full of fear, not full of fear at all. I'm actually quite enjoying myself. And as this burden starts to waver, I feel my strength coming, my strength forming unlike anything I've ever experienced before. It's amazing. It's almost like it was being prepared through all of this. I couldn't see it when I was in the midst of it. I felt really fragile at times. I felt really weak and brittle. All the while, I was preparing myself for the next phase of my life. The universe wanted to see how serious I was about change. Because I tried to make certain changes, it didn't stick. When you talk about being sober, talk about being productive and on my own and just being an overall better man towards myself, towards others, and my daughter and stuff like that. This helped mold me into who I'm going to become, who I am right now, a fighter. And I'm not afraid. I was afraid, and it's okay to be afraid. And now I'm not. And now I'm not as afraid as I was about, other things that may come up. I feel very proactive. I feel like the power is in my hands. I feel like I have the strength to finally go back and check those boxes that I always wanted to check. It's not too late. It's not too late for me. I haven't given up at all. And I hope that this finds some of you at the right moment, because you seen me report in real time how the shit was kicking my ass, and I feel like I feel like I've been pretty transparent, but couldn't I don't think I could properly illustrate just how bad it was for me, but that's okay because I wouldn't wish that on anybody, but I will wish strength on anyone who's feeling weak, feeling lost behind, feeling like you lost all hope. And the greatest, I think one of the greatest things you can do for yourself if you feel that way is that you have this internal conversation with yourself where you decide to put all the cards on the table, to go all in, to decide to do whatever it takes to get you to where you would like to be. And it definitely is possible. But you got to believe that. You got to believe in something deeper than the flesh. You got to have something to pull you and have something to push you at the same time into the same direction, might I add. All right. And you know me, based on what I said already in this video and many other videos, it's not going to be one thing. All right. Which is good. You know what I'm saying? You feel like life gave you a short hand, uh, it's a short hand, a short stick. or what? I don't know what's the expression. Whatever the expression is, it gave you a bad hand. Fuck it, let's go with that. The great equalizer is the law of probability. And so you identify the problem and you throw everything that you can at that problem until that problem is no more. And then you take that same concept and you go somewhere else with it. That's how you conquer. When armies, troops, or whatever conquer land, no, I said armies. I said troops. It's not just one person come and say, "I'm taking this as mine." You get their ass whooped. No, you send everything you got at it, and you don't stop, and you don't quit because that's natural. Life goes on. All right. A bird gonna wake up at 4:30 in the morning. It's gonna do what a bird does. Then it's gonna go to sleep when a bird is fucking done. You do the same. You keep fighting. You keep fighting. Now, just fighting isn't enough. You could be fighting air. You got to know your opponent. You got to know what you get out of this. You got to know what you even want out of this fucking life. And that's why I religiously check in with myself. But I tell you one thing, as many times as I contemplated suicide, it is very clear to me that I didn't not commit suicide to just live a shitty, mundane life, to just walk the complete straight and narrow and conform to what other people lay out for me. No, fuck that. I got to do it my way. All right. I know what unhappiness feels like. I don't need to subscribe to yours. There's something I can do about mine. You haven't figured yours out. Why would I follow you? I'm gonna follow myself, and I'll follow myself into darkness. I'll follow myself into the pits of fucking hell, and I'll figure out how to get myself back. And if I don't, well, then I die trying. I die fighting. All right. At the end of the day, I can make peace with that. I can't make peace with the fact that, or I can't make peace with a choice like choosing to follow somebody else's way of living, somebody else's unhappy plan, or just to give up completely, just to give up and not fight at all. That's not my style. All right, and so I'll be back soon with another video. I just want to kind of check my archives to see uh, what I would like to speak next. Maybe I'll save it for tomorrow because I've already put together 3 videos in the past 2 days, today and yesterday. So I don't know. No pressure, but thanks a lot.